All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Boots on Ground Radio. I am blessed to be sitting beside the one and only Hecubus.
What's going on, sir? What's going on? Why can't I hear myself?
You can't hear yourself?
I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, it's just because of music, that's all. I'm good.
You're good to go, man. All right, guys, so I do want to start the show talking a little bit about things that are still going on in Western North Carolina, which is probably not what we were expecting. It's just been tough, and we keep hearing more and more news that's coming out of Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, and people want to ask, why is the news media not there? Why is the military not there? I have no idea. I cannot speak on behalf of the U.S. military anymore, as I'm sure you can't, Russ. But this is a job for civil affairs that should be there.
This is something that we're very familiar with.
Yep.
Just not usually in this country.
But people are asking, why is the news media not there? Well, guys, it is impenetrable. Yeah, a news van cannot make it to these areas. But what we do have are heroes that are going up, taking food. I learned yesterday of the mule teams that they were using to, hike in supplies because they're not able to get, even off-road vehicles to some of these areas. And Ray, who works for us here at the Strawberry Farm, great guy, veteran himself, who is a contractor that we use, to build fences and things of that nature. But Ray has been up there multiple times delivering food. He's collecting it from churches, collecting it from civic centers, people in the community. He's just doing a fantastic job. And my brother tracks his location. He shares that with my brother. And we had a lengthy conversation with Ray yesterday and asking him, is it as bad as we see it on some of the stories and social media posts from people that do have cell service? He said it's exactly that worse, but he said you probably need to go ahead and multiply it by 3 times. So, the last I heard from the news was around 140 people deaths or 140 confirmed deaths. Ray said that's probably on one street. He said the bodies are piling up. He said they're on the street, they are in the trees, they are floating down rivers. He said they are literally everywhere, and that's not the first person to tell me that. Matt Beverly, our plumbing instructor, said that as well. But he knows definitely in one town that there are still 1,000 people missing. Like their homes are gone, washed away, as well as the residents inside. So it's going to take months, and there will be people that will never be found.
Yeah.
That will just be buried into the debris pile.
When you have that much mud, happening, especially in Carolina, and that our type of soil, it covers over, compacts, and then there's no way.
Yeah,
it's not like they're not going to be able to dig out and try and excavate in these type of situations. It just doesn't happen that way. And we have a friend who lives in Iowa who trains cadaver dogs.
Okay.
And she said that a bunch of the units are being spun up all over the country
to head
because
that way.
they're anticipating needing dozens and dozens of dogs because they're going to have that many cadavers they're going to be finding.
Yeah.
So,
well, you think about it. It's been a week today that the storm passed through, and one of Ray's suggestions, because here at Jones Strawberry Farm we are Saturday we are doing a collection of food, water, just about anything that you can think of that you have or want to donate, and we're going to load up our dump truck and a trailer, and we're going to head up there. Ray knows the places to get these supplies too. And what they are doing, he did take an ATV 4-wheeler, and he is able to navigate some of the paths. But he said, unfortunately, he said you need to carry a firearm. He said the crime is horrible, and he says you gotta realize these are people that have been without food and water for a week, so animal instincts are taking over. And he said he's not had to use it. He said it just needs to be present because these people are almost to the brink of going insane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you go without food that long. It's a sad situation, and the situations of the children who have lost parents for some reason, who were able to hang on to something when the floodwaters came through, who were, without clothes, and who were out without any kind of protection in the environment. So they're definitely asking for, stuffed animals, teddy bears, blankets, anything that can bring comfort to these little children, as well as dry foods, boxes of granola bars, anything that they can eat that doesn't, need to be cooked
or refrigerated.
Packs of water filtration, life straws, things of that nature. Pampers, diapers, dry formulation. They're literally people. They're starving to death now. They've survived the storm and survived the floodwaters, but there's people literally dying of thirst and hunger in these off-road communities that were almost impassable, on a normal day.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you didn't have 4-wheel drive and a small enough 4-wheel drive that can get around the curves and climb those hills, it's just non-accessible right now. And so that's why they're having to use the mule teams and ATVs just to get in food and water. They're not, I don't think, stressing removing people from those situations quite yet. They're just trying to get some basic supplies up to them so they can, try to save them at a later date when they can kind of scrape the roads out. But, I heard yesterday too that I-40 there at Tennessee, North Carolina line, they said expect to be used again by October of 25. That's a full year.
Yeah, and they said I saw that the National Park System said that Blue Ridge Parkway will be closed indefinitely.
Yeah.
So obviously, the Blue Ridge is more of a scenic byway, so it's not obviously not priority like 40 would be. But the fact that 40 they're talking a year is just insane.
Yeah.
Because of the use of that road. It's a main artery of the entire country.
Yes.
So and I have a good friend who lives right there at the border. He's in Newport, Tennessee, so he's right across the border there, literally just off of 40.
Yeah.
And I talked to him yesterday, and he was talking about the same thing. He said it's incredible to me that the response has been so slow and so sporadic to what happened. He's like, I don't understand why things are not just why the whole country isn't rallying on this and making things happen.
Yeah. And I just gotta. Excuse me. I hadn't had that sip of coffee yet. Guys, with the clothes, it has to be new clothes. They will not accept used clothes. So,
Yeah, good point.
Underwear, socks that are still in bags, perfect. These people have been wet for a week now.
Yeah.
So
and sandals are a good one too, because especially in that environment, because it's just everything's muddy and wet and stuff. So shoes you can wear obviously, but they're going to get trashed real fast. Whereas at least with sandals, you have something under your feet, but you can rinse them off pretty easily.
Yeah. So, but when Ray was talking about the little kids, petrified, and so they're needing moral support for the young ones, especially can't find mom, can't find dad, hungry, don't have a teddy bear. It's literally I would say hell on earth for these people right now, who are wondering where is America?
Mm-hmm.
Who is wondering why has help not came? And so, there was, some smaller convoys of military vehicles that we did see on 40 here coming through Winston. I guess they were, coming from Fort Bragg, maybe Camp Lejeune. I don't know. I can't tell if it was Army or Marines, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be Army, just based on the resources that they have for, disasters
I know that,
like this.
The governor, North Carolina governor, spun up, I think it was 500 National Guard troops as a preliminary to getting them in, and that's where I think that was earlier on, because that's the group that I believe went in and restored the that local airport there, so they could actually fly in
and land supplies,
get some supplies rather than having to drop them by helicopter.
Yeah,
on that one, but no civilians are allowed. In fact, actually, there was a story recently of a civilian a guy who was using his own plane and everything to try and fly in supplies, and they told him to leave the airspace.
Yeah,
that he was going to be arrested if he didn't leave the airspace. Which, I mean, to a certain extent, I understand, because if it's a military operation, they need to focus on just military aircraft, knowing who's in and who's out, and closed airspace. But at the same time, it sucks that people are wanting to help and they can't. They're being turned away.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if what Ray's doing is allowed. He's kind of took the initiative and found some contacts up there, and just knowing some people and where to get this stuff to. But you check with your local church, check with local civic programs if you want to donate. But like I said, my brother made a post last night on the Jones Strawberry page that we're going to take up donations this coming Saturday. Excuse me, and actually take a load up as soon as we can. So anything is welcome. Bottled water, dry foods, dry formula. And people, you got to realize, hey, you might be sending dry formulation, but they also need baby bottles. They can't give the dry formulation without the baby bottles. And there was something else that people were asking for, but they needed to go along with it, because these people have lost everything, guys. Like, it's not like they can go in their house and grab a spoon or grab a cup or a baby bottle. The entire homes have been washed away, and people hung on for dear life to survive the floodwaters. So the devastation, we still don't know the total dollar amount, total loss of life. We still won't know it, and we probably won't know it for some time, and we may not ever know it.
Yeah, we won't ever truly. No, I think there's going to be a lot of folks who are just missing and presumed dead, as opposed to
found,
confirmed.
Yep.
Yeah. But I would say, easily in the thousands for deaths. And then the one report that I've seen the same dollar amount come from two different sources that said in the neighborhood of $100 billion for rebuild. When you look at, Eric and I were just looking at a video this morning of coming out of Asheville, and the thing that was incredible to me is that it was utter complete devastation. Like, complete roadways were gone. Areas that I used to, there was like a restaurant that I remember going to that was really cool. It was on the main street, and like the main street doesn't exist anymore, basically.
Yeah.
Gone. But the thing is, like, like I told Eric, if that devastation is in Asheville, then think of what all these other small communities that don't have, they had one mom and pop store maybe that they got a little bit of stuff from, but like, Eric was saying, like, they had to drive an hour to go into town to get some other supplies, so what the devastation of those communities, if you have Asheville that's completely wiped out, then these smaller communities, it literally is apocalyptic.
Yep. Yeah. These people were driving in, like I said, an hour into Asheville, an hour into Boone, Banner Elk, which Banner Elk, they say, is probably one of the worst areas on the Boone side of the house. But Ray said that they were congregating in remnants of homes. And, he said they don't even have the opportunity, like I said, to go to Home Depot and buy a tarp to stay dry or to stay out of the sun. to stay out of the elements. And he said the biggest fear is that, guys, it's October in North Carolina. Winter is just around the corner.
Yeah. Thankfully, we've had kind of a warm
fall
so far as because that was one of the things I thought about. Was like if normal year we wouldn't be in the 80s.
Yeah. Yep. So,
which is a blessing and a curse, I guess, at the same time, because you also get the heat. So, I mean, there's no good way on this one.
No, and so guys, people say prayers help and everything else, but guys, it's time to dig in the cabinets and bring stuff to drop off centers, and let's get it up there. We've told Ray that we would run a truck up with him every single day if the supplies continue. I also have a good friend that I went to high school with, Chad Flint, whose wife is a doctor in Watauga County, and he's offered us a place to stop and kind of rest. Grab a bite to eat while we, head up there, because he said, Boone will pull through, but he said it is the outer lying areas of Banner Elk, Blowing Rock, stuff like that may never, ever recoup.
Yeah.
I mean, these places just may be gone and be gone forever. So, which, that was tough hearing that last night. Like it was, to the point where I didn't want to sleep. You talking about survivor's guilt.
Yeah. I mean, we're a couple hours away.
Yeah.
From this area.
And it was another one of my buddies that did make a post like that. He said, I never knew what survivor's guilt really felt like when it comes to war. He says, damn, if I don't know what it is like that, because he lives in Asheville.
Oh, okay.
And he said, we've lost so many, friends and family. So
yeah,
it does get to the point where you're like, why am I left? Why did this family disappear? Why did this family die? And you're standing there left to question that. So, but
yeah, absolutely. It's just been, and the thing is, it's so funny too. I mean, like, it's not funny as comical, but just the incredulous way that when I was thinking about this last night, I always talk about how I'm really not into like social media as a whole. Yes, it's a thing for business and all the other stuff, but I mean, people spend way too much time on it and everything. But then here we have a situation that shows the power of social media, is the fact that we're not seeing anything on the news, but yet you're seeing all kinds of content coming out of those areas that are affected, where people are right there,
yes,
in the moment, and you're seeing videos where it's like, no, this isn't like some video that was doctored and changed and did all this other stuff. This is video from people who are sitting there, standing there chest deep in water in a house, surrounded by neighbors,
chest deep, yeah.
So that's the part of it that has just been so crazy to me, because every time I see a video, I'm like, well, I've already seen these other ones. How much worse could it possibly be? And then it
gets
is,
worse.
Yep.
Yes. And what really gets me though is the EMS system, which I know those guys were affected too. But at the height of the storm, why were they not sending out like signals, or calling Raleigh and saying, "Hey, this is going to be worse than we ever imagined. We need help on its way now."
Right.
So it's still just heartbreaking to know that the Army's not there.
Yeah, I still don't understand that one, because there's so many different, especially the engineers.
Yeah.
Get the I haven't
pathways cleared.
I haven't seen a single and I know that they have to like do some stuff to get pathways cleared on that part of it, but by now they should have at least some pontoon boats or some the bridge layers, that can come in and just lay a bridge across an opening, or they also can do the floating bridge, like all that different stuff. Like, I don't understand why we haven't seen any of that happening yet.
Yeah,
to be able to help get supplies in, because we've got this massive country. We're one of the largest countries on earth, and yet with the most powerful military, and yet we can't do anything somehow. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like the administration should have said, I don't care what it costs, put everything out there. If we go into debt for the next 10 years,
we do it.
Big deal.
Yeah, big deal. We're in debt for the Ukraine.
Yeah.
So
we're already in debt. Might as well make it worse, right?
Yeah. But
get our money back from them.
Well, and John Dwiggins, one of my good friends, Friday, made some contacts up there and said, "Hey, we got some guys with some boats. We've got guys with some military rafts. Can we head up?" And he was absolutely not. Stay away. No civilians allowed.
Yeah.
So if there's no civilians allowed, then where is the military? They're not. Nobody's there. That's the sad thing. And you got people like Ray who is just headed that way and doesn't care, and has been able to penetrate and help a small handful of people in a community. And it's going to take guys like that to make it happen. And I don't mean to even go down a rabbit hole or anything, but when the help is not there, do they just not care? Is there some other agenda? Because as Americans, we're red-blooded Americans. When an American is in trouble, we go help.
Yeah.
Just like in the military, dude. If a F-16 pilot gets shot down in war, we will risk 50 other soldiers and PJ's lives to go get this guy. Mm-hmm. And everybody's standing up to go. They're like, I want to go. I want to go.
Yeah, and that's why you have 50. It's not because they send 50. It's because that's how many want to go.
Yes, to save their brother or sister that's been shot down. So, why are we not doing that now for these people? And
well, I did see that one cool thing that I've seen out of all of this is that the
American flag,
the state parks. A team of the state parks people made it to Chimney Rock, and they raised the American flag up on the top of Chimney Rock.
Hoorah.
So,
wow.
I mean, you can see
yeah, all below.
Just destroyed, but they made it up to the top of Chimney Rock to raise the flag, so that at least we have that going for us. As far as you have to have
morale boosts.
Yeah, you have to have that moment of well, at least we have that, when you wake up in the morning. And I know these days it's been weird because the American flag has come under attack so many times in this country over the past few years. But it's moments like these where that's why we need it. Mm-hmm. That's why we have to have it, to be able to look to as a sign of hope. Yeah. That something is going to happen because it's still flying. It's still up there. That's the bigger picture of why we have that flag and why it's so important. Because it's something to look to in these kind of dark times that we're in. And when people don't see anyone there to help them, they don't know what the hell is going on. They don't have communication.
Yeah.
They don't know if it's going to be today or a week from today that they're going to see somebody other than the people that survived around them, so. But
that flag, like you said, whether or not you're trampling through the woods or whatever, and you get a glimpse of that, that help is there. Mm-hmm. It's that, wow, I can make this, and it prevents people from because there are people probably on the brink of suicide.
Oh, for sure.
On the brink of jumping off a cliff. When people don't know what hunger is until they go a week without food. Because guys, you can survive up to 3 weeks. Eating nuts or berries, whatever they can come across. But I mean, you can go 3 weeks without food. Now, you will be a totally different person. You will not be the kind human being that you once was. You would do anything for a bite of food. Same thing with water. You can go 3 days without water, but trust me, on the end of day 2, you're shriveled up to absolutely nothing almost.
And there's nothing like a dehydration headache when it's that kind of dehydration.
Yeah.
It's when you when you're feeling dehydrated because you were working out or something and you forgot to drink water, that's one thing. But when you literally have gone without water for 2 or 3 days, and it's a hot, humid environment
Yeah.
to boot, it's that with the hunger and everything. It turns. I mean, I've been in situations going to villages where it was almost like one of those horror movies where it's like like the zombies, but not the slow moving zombies, like the screaming and running at you zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so to think that is happening there, that we're on the brink of that over there. And when I say over there, I just mean a couple hours away. Again, not like over there in another country.
Yeah.
It's amazing that with the advancements that we have, the technology we have, the resources that we have in this country, to be able to help everyone else in the world at a drop of a hat.
Yeah.
I mean, our military literally can be boots on ground within 24 hours
anywhere in the world. Anywhere.
Except Asheville, North Carolina.
So, and Fort Liberty is, 3 hours, 3.5 hours from that area. So unreal. But guys, this is definitely affected us here emotionally. Both Russ and I being prior Army, you have that sense of duty that you're not allowed to go. I did find out again yesterday that they're asking for paid security guards with concealed carry permits to go up there and guard jewelry stores, and they're more concerned about that than they are anything else. But the gig was $600 a day, $50 per diem, all
$50 per diem for what?
For what? Yeah, where are you going to go to McDonald's? But and they were, you had a place to sleep. But I'm like, man, could you imagine wanting to get paid to go up there and get paid to do anything for these people? But they're more concerned about protecting the jewelry stores and other places from the looters. And then we got volunteers that are sneaking up and delivering, packs of nabs and granola bars to people. So, again, priorities. What are our priorities? And it sounds like it's to protect the Rolexes.
Yeah, apparently.
So,
well, and with the basically zero assistance that the $750 check is going to give them for that, I'm all about people having some jewelry. Yeah, like if that's what it takes for them to rebuild, go ahead, go for it. Like in this case, it's just I'm just appalled by the response from this administration. Absolutely appalled.
Yeah, what is $750 going to do? Didn't they offered that for something else too?
Yeah, for Hawaii.
Oh, gotcha.
When the fires
happened.
Maui? Hawaii. Was it Maui? I think it was Maui. But yeah, same thing. That one was like $700. Yeah. Same thing.
Like, that's
immediate assistance.
Yeah, immediate.
Like immediate assistance is food, water, shelter. Like there's nothing you can do. You're not like, it's not like you're paying an electric bill because there's no electricity. I mean, come on. That's the government's thing lately. Is like, if something happens, we just write a check and then walk away.
These people's mailboxes have been washed away. How are they going to get it? And
yeah, they don't have an address anymore to mail anything to.
Yeah, there's no Lowe's Foods or Lowe's Home Improvement either. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. It was about the paid positions that are up there, and I can't remember what I was going to say.
Did it have to do with the security guard thing, or was it different?
Yeah, it was somewhere tied into that, and then we talked about the financial hardship checks that these people were getting. Oh, I know what it is. It's the 10 C's of survival. And if you have any question about what it does take to survive in that way, Dave Canterbury, which we call the father of bushcraft. Came up with the 10 C's of survivability. So just Google that. That'll kind of help you realize a lot of these things that people need. And he kind of came up with the 10 C's, and I don't know, we could maybe go over them if we wanted to, but the easiest thing to do is just Google that. But it's the basic needs that people need right now. They don't care about money, guys.
Yeah.
It's just like we seen in the movie Civil War. Yeah, the American dollar did not exist. They were having to use Canadian dollars to purchase items that when they did find it, or purchase gas, the American dollar couldn't buy you anything. They pull into the gas station, and she's like, we need gas. And he's, half a tank and to fill up a spare can. He's like, how much money do you got? She's like, $300. He just laughed. He said, that'll buy you a sandwich. Do you want ham or turkey? And she said, they're Canadian dollars. And his eyes got big, and he sold them the gas. So cash is not king here, ladies and gentlemen. A bottle of water and a pack of nabs is what these folks need. Mm-hmm. So just to begin the process of finding them. So I just couldn't imagine, they're taking food into these people. Where are they going to go when they pull them out of the mud and the water?
Yeah.
Where are the camps that are going to be set up where these people can get clothed and cleaned up? Because now there's going to be disease and everything else that's
those areas aren't going to be able to be used for. It's not like, okay, now the floodwaters are gone, we can start rebuilding. It doesn't work that way in that situation. It does not work that way in that situation. They're going to have to wait for everything to literally dry out, take its course, and then start possibly. Like Asheville obviously can rebuild.
Yeah.
But some of these other areas, like you said, they're not going to. How would they go back when there's nothing there? It's just there's not going to be a reason to.
Yeah.
It's not, and especially with with the roadways being washed out and things. If it's a small little community, it's obviously not going to be priority one on the government's thing of, okay, we need to rebuild this road now too.
Yeah.
So they're just going to. Hopefully people have family that they can go to and they can connect with, but for the most part, people are not going to have that. They're going to have nothing, literally, at all.
Yep.
And hopefully we can set up some housing for them. Even if it's temporary housing in hotels or apartments or whatever it may be, like we've done for so many folks coming into this country lately.
Yeah. Well, what gets me is the influx of illegals in that area after the storm. Why are they going to a flood? It's not like they're going to help rescue people. Why are they going there after the storm? Like, we've heard the stories of people, being robbed, being mugged, looting. Damn. You're looting the last bit of stuff that's even there,
Right.
And if you were an illegal, why would you go there? The furthest place I would want to go if I'm trying to find shelter and seek asylum from another horrible nation is a place in the United States that has been completely devastated.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, does it? I got a message in from Lee Withers. He said that they have he's down in China Grove, and he said they have hundreds of people being bussed into their YMCA's today, and his wife is working on getting kids clothing and into some school and stuff like that to kind of get that normalcy back, and also take a bit of pressure off the parents as well, so that the parents aren't which is, it's a good point too, is because when if you don't have anything and then the kids are just like sitting there in front of you, staring at you, like with nothing, no clothes, no nothing, like, you're just kind of hanging out. It's like, the idea of having them get into some kind of, even if it's a half day of something set up in a tent somewhere, at least they have a distraction at that point from the day to day on that. And they also gets kids a couple meals a day on stuff. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I don't know. My boss at the college was texting me, and he's like, we're doing our part. We've sent up a trailer yesterday, guys. It's going to take more than just one trailer, and you can't do that and say, "Hey, I've done my duty. I've done my Christian duty. I dropped a pack of water off there with everybody else and feel good about it. And yeah, let's take a selfie."
Don't.
So
that's that the slippery slope of social media. Like in this situation, it's been great for getting stuff out there, but that's the part that I'm not looking forward to is the
I'm a hero.
Thing. Here I am with a stack of bottled water.
Yeah.
Doing
I just doing my thing.
I don't turn the camera around, show the devastation. That's what people need to see over and over and over again. They need to see the devastation, not the help that's coming. They need to see the devastation to understand that just one or two people isn't enough help. What has been going on right now is helping, yes, but it's not okay. There's people there, then we don't have to worry about it anymore. They're getting stuff.
Yep.
Which is too often happens.
Yeah, and I've always and what's concerned me or made me question this. If there is a enclosed trailer worth of food taken to a stationary point, because Ray had even mentioned that the officials that are there aren't letting some of this material get up to the people that need
gotcha.
it.
Yeah.
Are they going to have to count every granola bar and bottle of water and take inventory before they even send it up there? Like, I mean, it's you deliver it to a point that's the floodwaters are receded and there is like a base camp, but these people are still 30, 40 miles into the mountains. Yeah. How long is it going to take to get that food resources to them?
And you talked about having the sidearms and things of that nature for obvious reasons that like said, when people are desperate, they're desperate. It's not because they're evil people. They're trying to survive for not only them but their family, and getting whatever they can. But we saw what happened when the U.S. dropped all the tons and tons and tons of food into Gaza when that conflict started, and what happened to that food. It got taken away and it got dispersed however they felt like doing it.
Yeah.
And many of them were, they became warlords basically of the areas because they knew they had the power, and that's what happens when you just drop food off.
Yeah.
Without actually being able to take it and distribute it and everything else like that. You just drop it off and then it becomes a commodity.
Yep.
And that never works. It just never works. Lee had made a damn good point. He said, "What's Equip planning to do?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's in 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from Equip.
That will have thousands of people there with, people in the green industry. We're just a different group. We're good people. We have hearts of gold. Are they going to have something? And they're in Louisville, Kentucky, just down 65. You're at the North Carolina. That'll take you into Nashville. So you could get to that North Carolina Tennessee border. So, oh man,
yeah, it would be nice to see. I should. Well, I don't have the same contact as I used to. In fact, I don't have any of my contacts from my email to be able to check on that, but I'll have to see if I can. There's still a couple people I might be able to contact from over there and see if they are planning on doing anything, so that we can discuss it coming up with theirs. But I mean, that's a perfect opportunity because you've got 30,000 people in attendance.
Yeah.
Over the course of a few days.
If they all brought one pack of water, one pack of granola bars. That's 30,000. 30,000 times 24 bottles. It'd be multiple tractor and trailer loads.
Yeah.
But are the tractor and trailers able to get there?
Well, and that's the thing. It would still have to be smaller load. Plan, things of that nature. Because one of the other things too that unfortunately isn't going to happen anytime soon, is gas. Yeah. Fuel to not just for cars, but for anything. If you have a
Yeah.
To be able to, for people who didn't have their home get taken out, or maybe partially, but they need to use a chainsaw to cut their ways out, their driveways or whatever else, and they can't do it because they don't have any gas.
Yep.
And they don't have a way to get gas. So that one's another tough one. Because, I mean, obviously between food and gas, your food is going to be first, food and water, But the, having the gas, and I know that I saw a news report yesterday that I guess Trump had, and I'm not trying to go pro-Trump here or whatever, I just happen to see this as far as efforts to bring things. It said that he had brought a few trucks worth of supplies as well as a tanker truck of gas to whatever area. I mean, obviously it wasn't going to be rolling into Asheville or, any of those areas, but like somewhere where it was a staging spot to be able to try and get some in there. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool because that was what maybe I hadn't thought about, wasn't thinking about gas until I saw that news report, that's something that's going to be extremely necessary for the cleanup efforts. Not just for the vehicles, but for the tools that they're going to use.
Yeah. And we got another friend here, Chad Holdenbage. My brother's been in contact with. Does a little bit of construction, a lot of grading, snow removal type work. So he's got the skid steers and front end loaders and stuff, and he's got everything staged, ready to deploy his team, and not looking for a dime. Like there are people like that in the green industry, in the construction industry, that will volunteer their times and resource and their own money to help. It's just what we do in these industries. We care about our fellow Americans, but they just don't know where to go. Like, I guess the number one priority right now is like you said, the basic supplies. We'll worry about cleaning up. But it seems like you got to have a way to clear the path.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think, number one priority, food and water, and those basic things. Obviously, food and water, number one, and then the other basics directly after that as well. But in delivering those, I think that's where you figure out, okay, is there a better way to make this happen? Like, if we could just get this little road open here, we could reach 5 more communities. So how do we open this road? It's figuring out how to best do it rather than just going, okay, so we'll just start making our way down this road and see what happens. You find out by doing exactly what friends of yours have been doing, going into these areas and figuring out on their own and going, okay, well, I can get an ATV up this pathway. Yeah. But then maybe there's some other roadway and it just has a few trees down over, but no one has a chainsaw to cut them down.
Yeah. But Russ, and I don't know, and maybe this is a crazy question, but is the devastation so grand that people don't even recognize landmarks?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's absolutely. They're like, I don't even know if this is where my house stood. So if I don't know if this is my plot of land and there's trees and mud covering everything, they're not even going to be able to find the road, period.
Well, because, and think about especially these days, maybe years and years ago, probably not, because people would have been like, well, there's Aldrich Butte, or there's this thing, or there, the landmarks that they go by. No one goes by those anymore.
No.
They go by like, oh, there's Miss Smith's house, I got to turn right now.
Yeah.
It's like back in the back of their mind, or they're using, like you said, they're using GPS to get one way to another, things of that nature. So when an entire community gets wiped out, you have no idea where you were supposed to go anymore.
Yep.
So it's a whole different scenario.
Which brings me to this. We're talking about GPS. One of our employees that's been here quite a while, I saw him the other day getting this. I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm punching in a GPS. I was like, well, where are you headed after work? He said, I'm headed home. I'm like, you've been here 5 years. Man, I don't know the name of the roads and stuff, man. I don't pay attention to what's outside the window. I'm like, they're so glued to the phone, including the social media,
well, true, yeah,
and the GPS, that they don't enjoy the beauty that the good Lord made for us to. Hey, there's Pilot Mountain. Hey, there's Hanging Rock.
Well, that's the crazy. So Liz and I had planned on going to Chimney Rock at the end of this month, because I wanted to show her like the Blue Ridge Parkway and the, you know, and Chimney Rock and like all that stuff, like all the places I used to go when I was stationed back at Bragg. And so we were talking about trying to figure out and we were talking about like doing just like an overnighter type of thing, so that, because it's, you know, a bit of a drive with the kids. So rather than doing just an up and back, we were thinking like, oh yeah, well, we can stay the night. And then I was like, yeah, and Xander loved like Chimney Rock, like it's really cool paths and everything. And then this happened, and I saw the
town.
The first thing I saw was 40, and I was like, oh, like 40 they'll get that back up and running in no time. Like at least it wasn't worse. And then, but then I started seeing all these other ones, and then I saw some videos coming out of like Asheville and some of the other areas, and I was like, and Liz was like, because I just kind of like, I was sitting there and I watched with this one video of Asheville where it was like a before and then after video, and I'm sitting there looking, I was like, holy shit. And she's like, what? And I was like, you know the area we were going to? And she's like, yeah. I was like, it's no longer there.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean, like the park or whatever? I was like, no, like the entire region is no longer there.
Yeah.
This isn't just like one town that had a tornado come through, like, which is bad enough, but like
this is the whole
just gone.
region. Yeah.
Just absolutely gone, wiped off the face of the planet. Just absolutely crazy. In fact, there was another story I saw this morning. There was a woman talking about how she lost her father and her son. Their house got swept away while they were in it. And then it hit along the way, it hit like some power lines or caught up in something else, to where it kind of like stopped, and then so it started filling with water because, you know, the thing, and it kind of started breaking apart, and she watched her son float down the river, who couldn't swim, so she watched him go under as he was screaming, "Jesus, save me."
As the young man was screaming that. Wow. And those are the stories we won't hear for some time. Could you imagine seeing your child float away? And yet, everybody's sitting here waiting.
Mm-hmm.
The poor woman will...
Yeah, and her father, the same thing happened with her father. He was holding onto a tree, and then he finally couldn't hold on anymore.
So
she just happened to be the lucky one who got caught in kind of one of those little eddies and got kind of pushed to the bank.
Yeah. I don't know. To lose a child, man, I don't. No. Especially in something like that.
Yeah. Well, in these recovery efforts, how many parents there are going to come across their children?
Yeah.
And not children being alive, but their children dead, hanging in a tree somewhere that got swept away. You know, because we know I've heard multiple people talk about that scenario, that there are bodies in trees.
Yeah. The water's got that high.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, to have that type of scenario playing out and people aren't even paying attention.
No.
You know, it's... And it frustrates the hell out of me that the focus right now is on the election coming up instead of fixing this problem.
Yeah.
You know, helping this, like that all should be put on pause.
Yeah.
And go somewhere else, because that's all I see on, you know, I was on Facebook this morning because I have a lot of friends from this area from years before. And so, like, you know, I've been scrolling through Facebook a lot more than I typically do to try and see more information and everything people have been putting out there. And it's just nothing but election stuff. And a lot of the people who are posting on this stuff are the ones who consider themselves humanitarians. And even if you're not, like, if you're listening to this and you're somewhere that's far away from North Carolina where you would have to, like, fly to make sense to get here, I'm not saying, like, fly out here and try and help. What I'm saying is share what's going on.
Yeah.
With people around you so that they understand how devastating it is. It's not about, you can help by sharing this information. It doesn't have to be by, you know, donating and stuff like that. If you have the ability to donate, great, awesome. But the very least you could do is to share this information, make sure people understand the devastation that is out here. Because if enough people keep talking about it, then hopefully the administration will maybe lift a finger and do something about it. because until then, it'll be up to civilians out here doing what they've been doing, and against lawful orders, doing it. Which I'll take jail time any day over not helping my brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not even, martial law has not been declared.
I was actually surprised about that too.
Yeah. Yep. But it's not, and that's why they were saying, even for the armed security details, that if you did have to use your firearm for protection, that you would more than likely be arrested and charged. So.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I can't remember when they declared it with Katrina, but it was pretty fast.
Yeah,
it was within like the first couple of days that they declared martial law down there, and that was an engineering failure. That wasn't even the storm was bad, but it was the levees that broke that caused the problem.
Yeah.
The hurricane itself didn't cause the flooding. It was the levees breaking that caused the mass devastation that happened down there. But that was a situation where immediately there was help, and obviously a little bit different scenario because they're right off the coast, so a little bit easier to get supplies here and there, and it's a lot more open.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking like an area where Pigeon Forge Gorge, where it's it's very high terrain and very narrow valleys, so pretty hard to get to fly anything in there other than helicopters.
Yeah.
In a lot of those spots, but and hiking in as well because of that, the terrain, but we got to do something.
Yeah.
Because it's to me, I saw the devastation that was happening within the first couple of days, and I was like, man, it's a good thing that we're going to get some help down there and be able to do stuff with these people. And then like here we are a week later, I'm like, okay, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Or my phone's I need to disconnect the thing from that.
Well, no, what it is, it's the same iTunes account on this computer.
So I was just trying to figure out if there. Oh, so I can't, even if I did away with the whatever.
It's still going to pop up on
I
this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, and I'm again, I don't like saying this, and I don't even like feeling this. But as I was just texting some higher ups that I work with, it's almost like, hey, bring the supplies so that we can let everybody know what we're doing for the situation. Guys,
right. Exactly.
If you were doing it for that reason, you're an evil person. You don't do something kind or help your neighbors for the glory of it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that. Taking a selfie of the stuff that you put together, and dude, they send a single axle trailer. Yeah, every little bit helps, but by God, it ain't about to them do a news story here. Oh, right. Hey, we all gathered this. And same thing with the churches too, man. A lot of them are saying, hey, this church right here, we sent up one flatbed trailer full of water or something, and they're making it about themselves instead of making it about the people that need it.
Yeah.
You don't need any gratification or glory for those good deeds. But the world's full of people like that.
Yeah, it's just
look what I did.
Do the thing. Just do it.
Yeah. Look what I did. I can sleep well tonight because I donated a pack of water. I've done my duty.
Yeah. Well, and the worst part on that one is that then a lot of those same folks turn around and say, like, how come you haven't done anything?
Yeah.
Like, I did something. I don't know why all these other people are sitting around.
Yep.
Because I did something.
I gave my pack of water. I give them two because it was buy one, get one free.
I donated $10 to that GoFundMe I saw.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done.
Yep.
I'm good. Like,
And again, money's the worst thing I think you can give.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is, because to me, especially in this situation, and I'm not even talking about giving money directly to a person. Like you could walk up to a person who lost everything and hand them $20. They're gonna be like, "Well, thanks.
Yeah. What am I going to do with this?
Now I can finally go take that poop I've been holding in because I got something to wipe with." It's not going to help. But in the same aspect, a lot of these fundraisers, you can donate money to them. I'm not saying they're bad or something, or they're trying to it's a grift. Like they very well might be helping the people, but the problem is, how long is it going to take for those funds to help those people? Because the fundraiser runs for a week, and then they have this lump of money, and then they have to figure out how they're going to allocate it and do all the. And pretty soon it's 2 months later, and they're just now doing
sending
stuff with
food
it,
in with the money gathered.
Yeah. So the quickest way to help is physical, tangible help.
Yes.
However that may be, and if you're I'm not saying that everyone has the ability to drive out there and hike through the woods and do everything else, but figure out who's doing that and help them.
Yes. help the ones that are going up. What do they need? What do they need?
Because just like your friend, he knows exactly what it is that the people are looking for because he's been there. He's seen exactly what's going on, and he knows what those people in that particular area are needing. So that's the best route to go, because for sure it's actually helping, as opposed to donating money to a fund somewhere or dropping off something at a place like for instance, example again with the strawberry farm this Saturday, those supplies are going onto a truck that is going to that location.
To that location.
They're not just going to go to yet another location to hopefully be distributed at some point. It's literally going straight there. So
not a collection point.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So, and thank goodness Ray, found these places and knew where to take it. And he said, when you go, it's going to change your life forever. And I'm not sure. I think he was an Air Force veteran. I can't remember. But he said it's the worst that he's ever seen with even with his time in the military.
Yeah.
So, and when it's red-blooded Americans that you're seeing like that,
that changes the perspective of it a lot.
Yep.
Because you don't have the ability to distance.
Yep.
From it, Like when I was on deployments, there was a lot of heartbreaking situations in villages with small children and things of that nature. But there was still a bit of that subconsciously. There was a bit of that distance, that mental distance of I'm in another country. I'm helping other people.
Yeah.
That are not fellow Americans. And it's not in a negative way, but just there was that emotional separation that I was able to have.
Yeah.
But this is a whole different scenario because, like you said, it's people not only, hell, in this situation, not only people in the country, but people down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Neighbors.
From us,
yeah. I mean, look how many times, my daughter, goes to school at App State. I was up there at least once a week, it felt like, sometimes twice a week when I was taking her up, dropping her off.
You were just there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
A week before this, I think, happened. Something like that.
And then my birthday, we had the rented an Airbnb, and I'm sure, I don't know, I'm gonna reach out to those owners and just say, hey, have you heard anything about your home? Because I know they've not been able to get up there. They live in Raleigh. They're both attorneys.
Oh yeah.
So, but and you also got to think about a lot of these homes up there. Probably weren't up to building code standards. Older homes. Yeah. Built in the 50s, 60s.
Yep.
Yeah. Just, thrown together.
Well, and a lot of trailers too.
And a lot of mobile homes. Yep. A lot of mobile homes.
That's one of the things I saw in a lot of the footage I've seen is mobile, upside down mobile homes wedged between trees and, you name it kind of thing.
Yep.
So a lot of those, a lot of people living in RVs in some of these areas.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
So.
Oh man.
Just absolutely great. What? So, anyone who might be listening, who's local and everything, what is there a specific time for that for this Saturday?
They're opening. Let's see. Did you share the post?
I did.
Okay. My brother wanted to do actually
I just did a quick share on it, so I didn't read the entire post on it.
Let's see. So yeah, the stuff will be taken to Watauga County. So that's going to be in the mountains past Boone. I guess just the whole time, that they're open. I think they're open like 10 to 9. Like they open 10 a.m.
Okay, so basically the whole day
yeah.
of Saturday. Okay.
So we're asking based on what Ray said, gallon water jugs, dry foods, pre-mixed baby formula, diapers, baby and adult, non-perishable foods such as canned vegetables, canned meats, batteries, flashlights, new clothing, used clothing, I've been told will not be accepted, towels and washcloths, comfort items for children such as coloring books, crayons, and new stuffed animals. That's the hard part. The green little canisters of propane, campsite stoves that use this propane, camping supplies such as sleeping bags and tents, tarps, and bungee cords. Honestly, anything you probably can think of will help. These people have lost everything. The need will continue well into the coming months, if not years. Winter is also fast approaching, so winter items may be something in need as well. New winter coats, gloves, blankets, propane heaters. So, here it is. Yeah, Friday 3 to 9, and then Saturday from 10 to 9.
Okay, Friday as well. Okay.
So, and then people are commenting to leave stuff. So, they also need can openers, guys. If you're going to bring canned food, the just the cheap ones, that you can get, dollar store.
Yep.
The baby bottles, because they need the formula. Let's see. And that's it for the comments. Well,
yeah.
So, guys, one of our saddest shows. Yeah, but we want to make every attempt to let people know what's going on. Yeah. So guys, please. Yeah. Please share this episode. I'll have it up on the podcast a little bit later and share it to all the socials. Just let people know. Like you said, if you're in, Wyoming, if you're the West Coast or anything like that, guys, just letting people know that this has happened, because you're not going to see it on the news. You're just not. And then I don't know. It's like that's what they can do. That's the number one thing that somebody that lives outside of this area is just share the information. Yeah. And to wake people up.
If you have and if you're outside of the area and you have people that live in the area, it's possible to, if you're looking at doing, a donation type thing, instead of donating to like a big fund somewhere, if you know someone in the area, shoot them some money and they can buy the stuff for you and get it onto these trucks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like if you're out there listening and you want to, help buy water or do, whatever it may be, feel free to contact Eric or I, and we can figure out a way for you to help, directly, as opposed to these other funds. I'm not saying these other funds are bad. It's just when you're talking quick distribution, it's a matter of a day or two instead of a couple of months. So, but share all the stuff. Like start. That's one nice thing about social media. If you start looking at the same stories, suddenly your feed is flooded with them.
Yeah.
So start looking up the Helene, Hurricane Helene. You'll see all kinds of stories start popping up, and just share the hell out of them.
Yeah.
On your socials and with your friends, and show them. Like pull them aside and say, "Hey, have you seen this video?" And really like bring it to life and let them know, because there was somebody that I actually talked to yesterday, and they said, "Man, that storm was crazy. So y'all okay after that storm?" And I said, "No, we're not all okay."
Yeah.
I was like, "We, as in my family, are okay because we were lucky enough to be far enough away from it to not have. We lucked out with like a mild thunderstorm basically here, compared to complete Armageddon 2 hours away from us. But I was like, no, we are not okay. People are dying and dead. And they're like, wait, what? When did that happen? I was like,
during the storm.
It's been happening for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a week, but will be happening, I should say, for weeks and months. And,
Oh, wow. My brother, I've got to get to campus.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. We got to keep on keeping on so that we can keep doing these things.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for listening here on Boots on Ground Radio. This is Two Landscape Vets with Hecubus and the Turf Teacher. We'll catch you bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. here only on Boots on Ground Radio.
Keep on keeping on, brothers and sisters.
See you guys.